friends, I'm Melissa with Team Snuggle Bugz, and I am mama to 2 boys with another boy coming in hot. Yes, if you're wondering, my house is chaotically mayhem, but I absolutely love it and wouldn't have it any other way. So as I prepare for baby number 3, I'm at the stage again where I need to prepare my hospital bag. So I thought I would bring you guys along for the journey so you can see how I pack, what I'm packing, and just my attitudes about everything. So today we're going to be going through what you need for mama, for labor and after labor, what you need for baby, a little bit of consideration for what you might need for your partner, and just some other helpful tips and tricks. So without further ado, here's what's in my hospital bag. Okay, so I am packing my hospital bag and I have a bit of a methodology about it. So in my hospital bag, I kind of have each of our core sections, for me, for baby, for birthing partner, and general extras, we'll call it. And then I also like to pack based on kind of level of access that I need to certain things. So personally, I prefer to pack in a very open vessel for my hospital bag because I know I'm going to be rummaging through to find things. And it's like, hello, you just had a baby. You're not going to want to be like hunched over rummaging through your bag. So I like everything to have a nice wide opening so that it's very easy for me to visualize what's within and access that stuff. So in my big bag here, I've got all of my kind of secondary needs. So that's stuff that's all going to come later, probably later after the delivery. In this bag, this is more of my go bag. This is things that I expect that I will need during the labor and delivery process or immediately thereafter. And then I've got my extras. So one hot tip is don't be wild. Make sure that you are installing your infant car seat in your vehicle well before your expected due date. Don't leave it until you're on the way to the hospital or at the hospital to do an install. That is very stressful. You always want to make sure that you've installed your base, you're familiar with the car seat. Watch some of our Snuggle Bugz YouTube videos. We do full product reviews, show you how to use the car seat, show you how to install. So definitely check those out. I've got my car seat here. One tip that I do recommend is when you are coming home from the hospital, on your infant car seat, you will often have these shoulder harness pads that are attached to the harness at the top here. I do find with an itty bitty little baby, these can actually sometimes impede the proper positioning of the chest clip at armpit height. So I often recommend to new parents, take these shoulder pads off, save them until your baby is a little bit bigger and they're taking up more space in the seat, and then you can get that proper positioning of the chest clip. You don't need these harness pads from day one. Otherwise, also make sure that you check the weight limits of your infant inserts because different infant inserts need to come out at different stages. And if you have a bigger baby, sometimes those infant inserts come out before you've even left the hospital. So you really want to make sure that you're familiar with your seat and all of the parameters that it has so that when it comes time to go home from the hospital, you're not frazzled and panicking. Let's take my go bag from the top. So first of all, in our go bag, I like to have, a little pouch that has my wallet, my headphones in it. I've got my lip balm. I've got my extra long charging cable. I've got hair ties. This is my, I will be accessing this 50 times throughout the labor and delivery process bag. So I like to just make sure that that's in its own little pouch parked on top. You definitely want to have a water bottle in your bag. And then a couple things that I like to have. So I'm having a summer baby this time, which is new for me. My previous boys were born in the winter. So this time I am being very intentional to pack a portable fan. I have been told that that can be a lifesaver in the middle of the summer. So definitely excited to have that. Also, you'll want to have some slides or slippers because you're not going to be putting your running shoes on and off every time you get in and out of your hospital bed. And I don't know about you, but I personally don't want to be walking on the hospital floor in my bare feet. And even sock feet makes me feel a little cringe, but I can get over it. Some other things that I'm going to have readily accessible for in my go bag. So Some people have very quick labors. Some of my closest friends have been at the hospital for, 36, 48, 72 hours, and it's this long drawn out process. So I definitely want to make sure that I have a sound machine and a sleeping mask, because as we know, hospital environments are very busy. There's lots of interruptions. There's lots of sounds. I'm not wanting to sleep with a sound machine every night anyways, but I definitely want to kind of dull that noise and try to create a nice environment for myself. In addition to having your sound machine and sleep mask, it is nice to have a pillow from home. If you are going to be staying the night, either during your labor or post-delivery process, it's nice to just have a little bit of comfort. So bringing a pillow for you and your spouse is definitely a good idea. Back to our sound machine. One of my saving graces during my labors has always been music. I love putting on, tunes that help set the tone. So I have a birthing playlist that's kind of more high intensity workout music. And then I have like a meditative birthing playlist. And I don't know what my mood's gonna be on the day, but I have found it really helpful to just have a speaker so that I can kind of like set the tone, set the mood, and create a more comfortable birthing environment for myself. So definitely having a portable speaker in your bag is a must-have. Then we've got our paperwork. So I know in Canada we don't have crazy insurance stuff, but at the same time, we do have benefits information. So when you go to the hospital, they'll be like, what are your benefits cover if you have benefits? And what's your birth plan? So I like to have all of that information ready to go because there's a lot going on and I don't want to be recalling, do my benefits cover me for a semi-private or a private room or nothing? So just bring your paperwork so that even if your spouse is or your partner is handling it on your behalf, you've got that ready to go. Next up, getting into the good stuff. So toiletry bag. I'm not going to go through everything that's in your toiletry bag, but let's be obvious about it. Deodorant, toothbrush, lotions, face wash, all of that fun stuff. Don't forget it. I just have my toiletry bag ready to go at all times. Make it easy for yourself. All right, next I've got my birthing outfit, if you'll call it. So I will say Freedom Mom makes a really great delivery gown, which I really quite like. It's got buttons and snaps so that you can nurse, and it's got, a nice big opening so you can deliver with it on. Great. I am more of a sports bra and bottoms optional kind of gal in the birthing process. So I've got a easy sports bra here. I have one that I'm kind of comfortable getting wet in case I decide to do a water birth or I'm, in and out of the shower. So having a, whatever makes you comfortable during your actual labor process. I've also got a robe. So if I need to, cover up sometimes or not and whatnot, I've got easy access to another layer of clothing. Now, also in my go bag, but will come a little bit later in the process after your delivery, is I do have some really nice loose pajamas. These are from H&M. They are just a nice button down. It's easy to do skin to skin with baby. It's easy to open up and close when you're nursing and not nursing. In those first few hours after the baby is born, you're gonna be putting them on the boob constantly. Because everyone wants to see that is baby latching okay? Do you need help with learning different holds? And all of your care providers will want to kind of observe and see that just to make sure that everything's going well. So nice to have that readily accessible. Then of course, we've also got some nursing bras. So I like to go easy breezy. We're not bringing our underwire bras to the hospital unless you are much better endowed than myself, but I'm just kind of taking my loosey-goosey, easy breezy nursing bras. These ones are actually by Bravado. Medela has some great t-shirt bras as well. So I just like them because they're, you can just pull it to the side, get access. I've already talked about paperwork, entertainment. So I like to bring a Kindle. If you have a tablet, like an iPad, bring that. Between you and your partner, you might have some time to kill. Some people have zero time. Some people have lots of time. So just come prepared for the different things. Bring a USB with your favorite shows on it. Make it a good time for yourself if you can. And then last but not least, I've got some extra socks, some going home clothes. I like to have just some nice loose fitting pants, maternity wear, a nice button down sweater or shirt just to be able to get home from the hospital. Not in my pajamas, because I definitely have forgotten my pajamas before, and I would not want to leave the hospital in my pajamas if I could avoid it. Okay, so that is what is in my go bag. Now let's pivot to my kind of post-birth recovery bag. All right, now we're into bag number 2. So this is, as I mentioned, kind of my stage 2 bag. This is most likely things that I'm going to be accessing more after baby is here. So number 1, you're going to want to have a nice warm shower. With both of my boys, that was something that I did probably within 15 to 30 minutes after labor, was just like, have a shower. And it is heaven, I tell you, heaven. Make sure you have a nice good towel. You don't want to use those like scratchy hospital towels for that. Have a nice plush one from home that you're comfortable with. And then I kind of have a few different little baskets in here, as you can see. So I've got a couple for mom and one for baby. So in terms of mom, let's talk about down there recovery first. So for post-delivery recovery, I have admittedly packed my stuff with a bit more of a vaginal delivery in mind. That being said, if you have a planned cesarean birth or that's a plausible outcome for you that you think is more likely, there are a ton of C-section or, cesarean birth recovery counterparts to the tools that I'm showcasing. And also a lot of the products that apply for vaginal births do still apply for cesarean births as well, because just because the baby comes out a different spot doesn't mean the clots aren't still happening. Everything's going on with your boobs, everything's going on with your vagina. So it all comes together into a pretty little picture. So let's get into my postpartum recovery. So number 1, I love these disposable postpartum underwears. So I believe the hospital will give you a pair or 2 of these, but I mean, Freedom Mom sells way more that are a lot more durable, a lot more stretchy, a lot amazing. I am absolutely obsessed with them. They are so nice and big. They hold their catch-all pads, their Instant Ice Maxi pads. They just, really help to keep everything together. They've got a boy short version. They've got a bikini bottom version. So lots of different options to keep you comfortable post-birth. So I've got a few pairs of these in my hospital bag. And then of course, I've got a big stack of them at home. Then I've got my Instant Ice Maxi pads. So these are really nice because they actually have like an adhesive on them. You just snap it in half and they are super soft. Then you can put them in your postpartum undies and just bliss out for a little bit. With my first, it was a little bit painful for a little bit longer than I would like to admit. With my second, we were kind of crazy busy and just thrust back into life. So I didn't find it to be as painful. So I will say, from personal experience, it can go in either direction. In addition to the Instant Ice Maxi pads, the Freedom Mom catch-all pads are absolutely in my postpartum recovery kit. These are amazing. I've got one open here. So you've actually got it's super long, it's nice and sticky, it fits in their postpartum disposable undies, and it's got this little gusset on the side. So if you think about your traditional pad, you're thinking a high flow day, you're gonna get like a pad with wings, it's gonna be massive. But post-delivery, you're actually passing a lot of blood clots, and you don't really want those blood clots to be sliding off the side of the pad by accident. So I love that they actually have this gusset, which kind of just keeps everything cooled in the pad so that it can be absorbed by the pad, and is just the perfect option for your postpartum pad needs. So definitely check out the Freedom Mom catch-all pads. I mentioned with my first, it was a little painful after the fact. So one thing that I liked is, of course, when you're kind of home or, in your comfortable environment or at the hospital, you can use these Instant Ice Maxi pads. They are obviously thicker. You're literally putting an ice pack in your underwear. Let's say you're going on about your life, or, you don't quite need a maxi pad or the ice pack. You can actually just also get these cooling pad liners, which I really quite love. So you're actually just gonna take a pad liner out and you just put it on the inside of your pad, and it just delivers a little bit of a cooling effect to your vagina and just helps to really ease all of the friction going on down there. Some additional things that I have packed in my postpartum recovery pack. I mean, the hospital will definitely have these, but bring them just in case. Tylenol and Advil. You will want to be probably taking that pretty regularly after birth. With my first, I ran out of Tylenol and Advil after a few days, and I was like, I'll be fine. I can probably, muscle through this. I absolutely could not, and I sent my husband out in the middle of the night to get me additional Tylenol and Advil. So don't be a hero. Make sure you're well stocked. Now, the last but funnest postpartum down there recovery is your peri bottles. So I have with me a peri bottle that you're going to get from the hospital or your midwife, and I have the Freedom Mom peri bottle. Freedom Mom had not yet launched when I had my first babe, so I used the hospital or midwife provided peri bottle. It is like a jet stream, and it's not very ergonomic. So when I saw that Frida had introduced their own peri bottle, which is ergonomic, so as you can see, you're not needing to put this entire thing in the bowl to get the proper angle for your vagina. You are just going to hold it like this, and it's properly angled for you, and then it just has this really nice smooth flow. It still has enough of a power that you're going to help to release and get rid of some of those clots that might be stuck up there, but cannot recommend this enough. This is the absolutely top selling Freedom Mom product for a very good reason. Now that I've spilled water all over myself, let's talk about postpartum recovery for your boobs. So I find personally in the early days, that is when, my nipples and my boobs, like you're going through a ton of changes, hormonal changes. All of a sudden you've got a child latching there all the time, and it can be very painful. So getting on top of, your boob care early is going to save you big in the long run. So here's what I have in my boob care kit, I'll call it. Number one is I've got this Earth Mama Organics nipple butter. I like applying nipple butter very right around birth and shortly after, because it just prevents your nipples from getting chapped. And it's just a very wonderful product, organic, absolutely love it. Next up, I definitely find that, I don't really want to leave the hospital or go home and have breast milk leaking all over my shirt. So I love being able to put these dry nursing pads in my nursing bra. These are from Freedom Mom as well. They just help to absorb any extra milk that's coming out so that you're not, making a big mess. Next up, when your boobs are starting to get sore, one of my favorite new products on the market is actually these Freedom Mom cooling hydrogel nipple pads. Okay, I'm obsessed. I've tested them so many times and I cannot wait to use them in real life. So it's really soft on the top, and on the bottom, it kind of has this gel substance, but it doesn't leave any residue, and it has this beautiful cooling effect, which I can just imagine in those early days, your nipples can hurt so much. So I'm very excited to be able to use these this time around. One other boob recovery product that I have is these hot and cold relief packs by Freedom Mom. So it's sold in a pack of 2. You can throw them in the freezer if you need, relief because your boobs are super sore, or you're dealing with, maybe mastitis or something, or engorgement. Or you can also throw them in the microwave for 20 to 30 seconds. And, that might help you with your letdown and kind of supply right before you nurse or you feed your baby. So love a good multi-use product. One thing that I would also be packing in my hospital bag is my breast pump. So this is really, dependent on what you expect your journey to be. I have mostly nursed my children. That being said, with my second, we unexpectedly ended up with a NICU stay for a couple weeks. He's fine, but in that time frame, I wasn't able to nurse him. So being able to actually have my breast pump already, I already had it. I had kind of read all about it. I had prepped it, and being able to use that both while I was at the hospital and at home was really helpful for me. So if you want, it's totally discretionary, but having a breast pump with you and or bottles is a nice thing to have. So that is my mama recovery from post-delivery kit. Last up, I've got our baby essentials. So I've just brought, I'm a lazy packer. I just literally packed our diaper caddy, put it in the bag, and I'm ready to go so that once we get home from the hospital, I can just unpack it and put it right back on the nursery counter. So this is the Skip Hop diaper caddy. I like it because it actually has like this very dim little light on top, which is really nice for those middle of the night diaper changes. Middle of the night diaper changes are probably the worst with an infant because they're pooping all night. So you have to like change their diaper very regularly. As they get older, they don't poop so much in the night. So it gets a lot easier, my friends. Don't worry. Short-term pain. Okay, so for baby, the hospital gives you diapers. So you absolutely don't need to bring diapers, but I really happen to like these Terra diapers. They are compostable and they are really, really absorbent. Like they dry way faster than I think any other diaper on the market. So I'm just a big fan of the brand. So I'm going to be bringing a few of my own diapers to the hospital. I'm also going to be bringing some of the Terra wipes because I also quite like these wipes. I know the hospital will have some as well. So to each their own. Now, when baby comes, those meconium poops. So the first poops are very sticky. So you'll want to make sure you get some diaper balm or some olive oil on their bottom as soon as possible because that helps that meconium poop to not stick so much. I've got the Baja Baby diaper balm in my diaper caddy, which I'm a big fan of. I just absolutely love it. Next up, I've got my Bugz pacifier and pacifier pouch. Again, to each their own if you want to do pacifiers and when you want to introduce them, but I like just having it available. With my first, I actually did do a pacifier from day one and it worked out great for us. So having a nice pacifier on hand, if you've watched any of our videos, you know that I'm obsessed with the Bugz pacifier. So apologies to other brands, but I love the Bugz ones. One other thing is you'll want to bring either a nail file or little baby nail clippers, or what I'm upgrading to this time, which is a baby nail buffer. So I absolutely am terrified about cutting babies' nails in the early days. Their fingers are so small, like so small. And their nails are, yes, they are very long and they will scratch their face if you don't cut them. So you have to deal with it, but I'm terrified. So this time I actually got the Frida Baby Nail Buffer, which is just like, as it says, the little electric nail buff. And I'm very excited to be using that. It's got different kind of sizes for different ages for your little one. And you know what? I'm just gonna take that whole anxiety away and deal with it. Now, baby's outfits, we've got our little scratch mitts. Need I say more after that whole conversation we just had on long nails? Then I've got baby's kind of first outfit, going home outfit. This is a Pip and Fee bamboo footed sleeper. So I love the bamboo material. It's nice and stretchy. It's also the perfect fit. Like I don't want my babe to be, swimming in their first outfit. I want it to be nice and tight. Both my boys, I had them in a black onesie as well. So I'm very excited to kind of carry on the tradition with baby number 3. So love this Pip and Fee bamboo fitted sleeper. Now I did get a little bit indulgent this time because I'm having a summer baby and I was like, what if it's super hot? So I could not resist getting this adorable little shorty at the same time. So this is just kind of my backup outfit if we have a poop explosion or something, or it's too hot for outfit number 1. Additionally, I have a swaddle bag for baby. So if we want to put them down and have a little nap or something. This is a new one by Pip and Fee. I also really like the Ergo Pouch Cocoon Swaddle Bags by Ergo Pouch because both of them have these snaps on the arms. So it creates that really nice cocoon swaddle effect. But then as your baby grows and gets older and maybe starts rolling, then you can actually just undo the snaps to let baby's arms out. So this is a really great kind of early day sleep bag option for your littles. I've got this really nice stretchy swaddle. So this is a swaddle by Pip and Feet as well. Absolutely love the material, love the stretch. Also love that it matches my outfit aesthetic. Goes a long way, my friends. And I've also got a pear muslin swaddle here. Muslin swaddles are super soft and super nice on your baby's skin. I have used this pear one with all 3 of my boys, so I'm just excited to carry on the tradition. And that is my post-delivery essentials for mama and for baby. So there you have it. What's in my hospital bag for baby number 3. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm forgetting anything or if you have any recommendations of additional stuff that I should pack, because I've got a few weeks left to get ready. Thank you guys so much for joining me. At the end of the day, our mission here at Bugz is to instill confidence in families navigating the early stages of parenthood. A big way that we do that is through stroller and car seat education. And sometimes we get to talk about other things besides car seats and strollers too. Definitely check out your local Bugz store, and all of the products that I've reviewed today are great things to actually add to your Bugz baby registry. We have an incredible baby registry program, so check that out. Check out our other videos on the Bugz YouTube channel to help you pick out what infant car seat to get, what stroller to get, all of the goodies. And thank you so much for joining me today. We will catch you on the next one.